Welcome to the Dice Box and the Fixers. Previously, our group of happy yahoos did manage to take down the son of Wotan, who, as it turned out, had come to the end of his immortality at some point in the not too distant past, but had managed to hang on to it through other means, which are probably going to have to be investigated at some point, because that's just fucking weird. But there are other matters to consider first. First one being, well, they had an assistant. The assistant turned out to be one of them. The assistant was new enough and not, at least as far as somebody out there considered, not vital to the team enough to not be sort of yoinked for experimentation. Thus, ambush happened before the fight with Thomas Jensen, and individual he apparently summoned up but couldn't actually keep hold of to any significant degree. I mean, one fireball. Just the one. Yeah, there are reasons that Rafe does not understand, and you're pixelated as fuck. Just say. Anyway, yeah. And then she was just like, yeah, okay. Sorry about the fireball. You're welcome for the rest of it. Go get her back. Poof. Also, Ketty is the only one who actually spoke to individual who did say he was going to try to head this off. Ketty is not an unintelligent man. How the fuck did they have time? Something else is going on here. You two don't know. You two are just pissed. I mean, it doesn't.
Various levels of murderous.
It doesn't change the overall overarching plan, but it does. It will occur to Ketty that doesn't mean it means you might not actually know who you're attacking. I mean, given the various hands-off policies, not that you necessarily knew the strength you were going to be dealing with to start with, but you know, it's still a matter of, okay, this may not be the people that we generally work with or for. Is this of any use to us? Because Ketty is very much, after all these centuries, pretty good at looking at the entire situation and trying to make as much good out of it as possible. Actually, Ketty, make me an insight check on that basis. Yeah, no, he's too busy trying to chill Rafe and particularly Suryin out, because Suryin is saying the thing about the eyes again. I'll give you another try once you've calmed them down and tried to fill them in on there might be a bigger picture here.
To keep them both marching in the right direction, we should be mindful that strike team, there's a concern that I hadn't expected this, because that Kim's superior that I spoke to made it seem quite clear that even regardless of how much influence he could manage, that any team from the office would be sent after we had resolved this issue. I mean, it had only been a matter of hours between that phone call and...
Well, there was at least 2 overnights, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because
days then.
Yeah. But still not really enough.
Okay, I thought that it had only been a day. Okay.
Well, you had late at night. You got some sleep. You went out that morning. You spent a night out in the forest.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So, day and a half-ish.
So we need to take one of these attackers alive, Tsuyin.
That's doable.
Thank you.
They don't need all of their parts to live.
No, but they need them to live long enough.
I'll make sure one of them is conscious for long enough to tell us things.
Thank you.
I'll try not to go for all headshots.
I'm sure there will be plenty of targets to thin out.
And a wealth of kneecaps.
Exactly.
Break a man's legs, he remembers you for about 6 weeks. Break his kneecaps, he's walking funny the rest of his life.
And Int 6 still has that because that's so much personal experience. Okay, try me on the insight check again because with that modifier, that's just dumb. There we go. Yeah. Thing is that dude thought that he had the time to talk people out of it. He wasn't entirely sure that he was going to be successful at it, but given that he was probably in a reasonable enough position within whatever consortium, whatever you guys have been directed by, for lack of a better term, it's entirely possible that this was less the people who send you information and targets. It might be some of the people that fund them. Situations like that need money. And if some of them got kind of grabby and sneaky enough, they could have launched something, probably the red-hot instant that Kim's phone call started. Or they were watching you already. And they didn't think they could take any of the more experienced of you. So when they found a brand spanking new one, hey! Of course, they probably got a few surprises when she very clearly did some of her incineration thing. And because that was a moderately decent roll, some of Kim's things are still there. They didn't take her with all her stuff. Which means she's absent her spell components, and she's absent her phone. I mean, Suyin's probably got her bag.
Mm-hmm.
And has not thought for 1 second, because she is Suyin, about what's in it. And Rafe is Rafe. Ketty, however, is like...
Ketty. Tsuyin. Give me
What?
his bag.
Pull the bag around. As I'm walking, open it and just and I'm starting to look.
Give me your phone.
Yeah, Suyin gets it at that point. Yeah, her phone is in there.
Checking. I'm looking at the phone to try and tell if there's any like immediate message on the thing.
No. Not that you can see anyway.
Handing it to Ketty.
Thank you. Can Ketty cast a ritual as he's walking?
No, he has to stop.
Okay.
I mean, it's still 10 minutes, but...
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fair. Yeah, he's just gonna throw it random direction.
Okay, I'm sorry. If Rafe is coming up with this, please, you can have this one because I don't want to have to say it. We're not hearing you. You're very, very faint.
Damn it.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, okay, good. Boss, before you throw it, we need to check. You said it might not be the people.
Oh, for
so
fuck's
maybe
sake. Okay.
The people, like.
It's a phone! It has a contacts list. You've used it before.
Yeah. It's got people and stuff in it, right?
Yes, I'm concerned. The people who did bring in that strike team will track the phone.
Why would they?
Why would they track the phone? They have her.
She did, Suyin, this one's yours. She did hide it.
She hid the phone that was meant for us.
She
to
hid the
use.
bag.
She
Alright.
hid the entire freaking bag, too. We keep that, you throw that, and I'm going to stab you.
Alright. Put it back. No,
We'll be doing so repeatedly if you try that again.
Well, like, you could try to, I don't know, open the phone, look at the phone.
He's already looked at the phone. Suyin's already looked at the phone. There is no message. It's more of a. The guy you spoke to, Insight, seemed fairly sympathetic, as much as he could be in an office where somebody might be listening. You could use the phone as a phone.
Oh.
And in getting it back, I'm going to go through the contact details.
You don't know which one.
Please find which one it is. I'm not giving it to you, just point.
Kitty points to the most recent call number.
Yeah, that is the right one. You remember from using it.
To mallet the call as I'm walking.
Okay. And there's a moment before it picks up, and you get the most. It's a voice that should be sounding very, very cultured, and still does, even over the sound of an assault rifle being primed. Mr. Odinson, I see she's thought at least one step ahead. What can I do
Well,
for you?
Yes and no.
Wait,
Suyin put him on speaker.
no.
No,
No.
Wait,
fair enough.
what? You have the pleasure of hearing this very cultured sounding man sounding a little bit flustered. Oh dear. Yes. I've had reports about you. You're not the talker.
No, I'm not. If you want to speak to the talker, I can hand that over. I just don't exactly trust him with this phone right now.
What?
He tried to throw it a few seconds ago.
On one level that's genius, on one level that's insanity. Either way, please the one that actually talks first and doesn't always default to stabbing or setting things on fire or blowing them up.
Good to see that my reputation is still... well, it's still there. Ketty.
Thank you.
Mr. Odinson, am I talking to someone with some modicum of sanity?
Yes.
Good. As you're clearly aware, the individuals I was a little bit concerned about have made more of a move than I thought they were capable of doing. Unfortunately, warnings were a little bit liable to be traced or deleted, so now I need to know, now that you've actually been able to contact me, what you're going to do now.
We are retrieving Kim from a strike team, which I see that you were not part of the decision to send.
Well, no, but I'm looking at some of them, and you do hear that sound that you're hearing. You've heard from Rafe and Suyin a couple of times. It's somebody getting armed up, frankly. Suyin didn't mention that.
You're in Stuttgart?
When I went to deliver my arguments against taking Kim out of the field, I happened to overhear some concerning commentary from people that should not have had the level of information that they did. By the time I managed to pry it out of them, it was a little bit late to do much of anything, and since I was the one who put Kim forward for this role in the first place because I thought she would be a good fit for you and maybe calm down a couple of the ones that need calming, I figured that it was effectively up to me to at least try an extraction. I'm nothing like you. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to survive this because we do tend to play hands off a little bit, but I do have this rather unfortunate nagging shred of morality.
Which is greatly appreciated. We're on our way to the manor. We'll be there soon.
Oh,
How much of the organization is compromised?
we have some people still figuring that one out. They're doing something of a cull, but I wasn't needed for that. Once I'd actually unearthed it, I was somewhat immune from the interrogation process. We do know it doesn't go up to the higher ranks. It's just that, from what little I know, a couple of our benefactors may not have had the most altruistic of motives. I will keep an eye on the perimeter, try to keep myself unseen, and hopefully have some information for you when you get here.
That is much appreciated. We'll be at the manor soon, and we'll clear out the strike team and get to Kim.
Fair enough. I won't say take your time, but try to come up with something that involves some manner of plan that does not involve letting Miss Zoom off the leash too much.
I've already given her one warning.
The slaughter of Stuttgart is not something I want hitting the papers.
I don't think we'll be quite that loud. Rest assured.
You might not be! I'll keep an eye. I'll try to get numbers. We can rendezvous, and he gives a position sort of on the perimeter of the manor grounds, so we can pool our information. But even if I don't think they're necessarily paying attention to this phone, there's only so much I'd actually like to go into detail over.
Of course.
I will see you when you get here. Beep.
Jetty picks up his pace, going that direction.
Okay.
Kim's boss is surprisingly outdone himself, so we're going to be meeting with him at the edge of the woods near the manor.
Well, damn.
Someone turned into a field operative at very little nudging.
Fortunately for us.
Yes, the office gig was a little boring.
Is Suyin at least going to ask what the fuck is going on? If management type is going from desk job to in the field in like... I mean, because all Rafe cares about is... Ally! Yay!
Yeah, backup. Booyah! We have backup for once going into something like this. That's nice.
So, Ketty, further on the whole has skipped his desk job to become a field op all of a sudden, how ridiculous has this gotten that a desk jockey is doing field work?
No, it's an undetermined portion of the organization has decided its loyalties are to the an undetermined number of benefactors who are more concerned, or who are likely more concerned with the financial incentives of life.
Somebody paid somebody to do a thing.
Okay, no. Admittedly, I'm kind of not entirely clear about how many of those words Rafe would necessarily understand, but you've said it, so
He heard money. He heard money, so he just figured, when money is involved, okay. But so wait, most of that, just somebody paid somebody to do a thing.
Yes.
Thank you. Simple, please. I understood one thing out of all of that. That was money. Great. Now I got a migraine. Oh wait, there it went.
well, yeah, because monk. Dope monk shit.
Amazing how quickly it goes away when you stop thinking that hard. Ow! Don't do that.
Of course, for Suyin, it's like, so if they're not sure who in the organization they can trust, desk jockey's alone. He was gonna charge that place on his own before you fuckers called.
Oh boy.
It just looks over as we're walking, sort of looks over to Suyin real quick, like, huh?
Yeah, ally, but just one. Just one.
Wait,
One very squishy person.
wait. So he didn't know. Wait, huh? Wait.
No,
So also, one's the lack of intelligence. Two, it's just one guy against. Wait, what? So it's sort of a combination of he doesn't really get it, and it's also unbelievable. So double whammy. That's why he's just sort of wait. What? Explain this to me in small words, please. I'm 5.
He came here alone to try and help Kim.
Desk jockey by himself against whatever it is they brought.
Against an entire black bag operation, yes.
No, we did
I'm
underestimate him.
very glad we're on our way there, because otherwise he'd be dead now.
I mean, to be fair, Suyin knows you could probably do an extraction quietly if you were, like, really, really good and had been training with it for, like, centuries. But, although, to be fair, you're not stupid, given that you did hear, assault rifle being loaded and primed. Desk jockey was probably military at some point.
Yeah. That what I could hear him loading up, he's the type who would have been tasked by the government with chasing me around back in certain River Delta piracy days. Military. He's military.
Was, yeah.
But
Huh.
that explains
Really
why
glad
he
that
would
he
prefer to
kept his
just go
loyalty.
in hard instead of...
He's Jonesy. Oh man, I haven't thought about him in like 50 years. Damn. Yeah. Oh god, that sounds just like him. Cool. Okay, now we know what we're dealing with. Awesome. Although that's still nuts, but so is Jonesy. Okay. Yeah, that guy made me look smart.
You.
I mean, he was smart,
Yeah.
but he wasn't smart. Word, whatever.
We park him with you. He covers you. You cover us.
Right. Actually, that works.
And we leave
I
at
was
least
good-
somebody with enough parts of a face to talk.
That works, actually. I was a little worried about... If I'm going to be snipering, like, I can do a fair bit just because I've been doing it for this long, but it still helps to have somebody help with the math. There's a lot more math involved in sniping now.
It's not so much that actually. For Rafe, he's been doing it for a while, but snipers usually have spotters because
Right.
what usually takes a sniper down is another sniper. Or think about every Widowmaker who's been shot dead and not even known it because they were too focused on the scope and not seeing. So he was used to in the days when he actually managed to, when he was actually in the army, or he was in later days when he was forging papers to be a part of actual armies, or just kind of fitting in because, in things like Vietnam, no one gives a shit. You're fighting, you've got somebody on your side, he's killing people, nobody around you is dying. Great, we'll stick with that. What division are you from? We don't care!
That exchange has happened more than once.
but in all of those situations, they always assigned you a spotter, so you prefer having one.
Yes, exactly.
So you have a spotter who's like Jonesy, apparently.
Well, he was a lot more observant than I was, so okay, that works. Yeah, in my head, my headcanon was that between the two of them, they had a fully functioning brain. Rafe was a little more wise. Quincy was a lot more intelligent.
Which is actually a very bad combination. High int, low whiz is a lot more dangerous than low int, high whiz. Because
Welcome.
low int, high whiz means I'm dumb enough to think that would work, but wise enough to know I need to ask somebody else. High intelligence is, I can see how this would work, and I'm not wise enough to think that I should maybe have a contingency.
Welcome to Ally.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway,
That's
yes.
how that worked out.
Yeah. You're underestimating how long you were actually traveling, because I did gloss over a lot of the actual wandering that you did. The only reason Rafe got to even the borders as fast as he did is because he's... part of it was, eventually he managed to get enough of the kid's trust to go, yoink, yurm.
And I wasn't really trying to hide a trail. Well, not out. Back in, yeah.
But on the other hand,
enough that I really wasn't a concern. But
on the other hand, to quote another bruiser of very little brain that you have played, parkour, motherfucker. So yeah, it's been dark for a little while by the time you actually get to the edge of the forest, skirt past Stuttgart proper, and get to the perimeter of the manor grounds. It actually looks surprisingly quiet. I mean, Kim outfitted the place with blackout curtains, so lights are a bit of an issue. Could you all please make me a perception check? Why are you...
I have no idea why that's set to that. Let me change it. Okay.
It wanted you to have the one. It wanted you to have the one.
Yes. Boy, we're doing
9.
great today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, to be fair, the 11 would have failed too. So you're at the rendezvous point, and Ketty is just like, okay, where is he? And you're kind of waiting, and tap on Ketty's shoulder.
Kitty whirls about.
Out of a nearby shadow has stepped. He's a good enough looking man as far as that goes, but in one of those very average ways. Brown hair, fairly well groomed for what he's doing. Eyes to match. White boy, you know. Not bad, not a bad build, and dressed entirely in, the kind of black kit, well, not quite black, sort of an off gray that blends into shadows better, that you'd use in a night op like this. He's, in that Kevlar vest, jump boots, and a couple of guns. One of them, the assault rifle that Suyin heard him dealing with. I hope you're going to be a little bit more observant than that when you're actually... I've been trailing you for half a mile.
Very good at what you do.
If I was good at what I do, I'd still be at a desk. I'm good at what I did. I don't see any need for what skills I've developed to go fallow.
Well, we have something resembling a plan.
Do I get to hear it?
Yeah. Sniper, just pointing to Rafe. Sniper rifle. Covering myself and Teddy. Teddy as a distraction given his sorceress
Skill set.
affinities. And me being me. I
Sneaking
find my
around
way
and-
in, I find Kim, and I try to get her out first, and possibly also leave someone with enough of a head to still talk.
You're going to have an issue getting her out alone. I managed to get close enough to the property to figure out what room she's in. You're not the most physically strong individual, and most of your abilities involve melting into a shadow, coming out of a completely different shadow, and shanking them while they're distracted. I have done some research. You're not going to be able to do that while carrying an unconscious woman, if you could even lift her in the first place. Apparently, your metabolisms are unbelievable, and they've had to drug her twice. Increasingly higher doses. They were complaining about it, and there's the other thing, they've also already been taking preliminary blood samples.
Delightful.
How many are in there?
It's not a huge operation. I'll give you that much. For one young woman, they didn't seem to feel they needed a great deal, and she did apparently already kill 3 of them by throwing fire at them.
Yeah. Well, killed
She has quite the talent.
2 of them. One of them. Well, here he is now.
Fired very quickly afterwards, considering the resulting firebombing.
I see. Yes, that would explain why the straitjacket and the ball gag.
How many have you seen in there?
Thus far, 10. But, again, I can only see what windows have allowed, and I've had to be quite careful, so my count could be off because I've been mostly peering through blackout curtains and wasn't getting a very good look in. Those are the ones that I could absolutely determine were not the same person twice. So there may be more?
So should we amend the plan and you come in with me? You go get Kim. I contend with the potential roadblocks.
Well, depending on how far away Mr. Odinson needs to be for his work, and I can be, as you've seen, I can be stealthy.
I need 300 feet. And he looks between the tree line and the manor.
Well, it doesn't have to be here. If you can find a good sniper nest, etc. Look here. Rolls out a sketch. that he's managed to more or less put together. It's obviously a little more rough than this, but not that much more. It taps spots. This is the ground floor. This is the upper level.
Could you ping on the map, like, roughly where we are? In which
You're
direction?
you're kind of off the map, but you
Where
are.
we would be coming in if we went a straight line towards
You're
the house.
currently coming in from sort of the rear at the moment, so about there.
Okay.
But what you really want is more of an indication of where you would be coming in. They have her at the moment. Sort of peering at the map because they did. There were some arguments about this because they did, and some of this is obviously guesswork because I've only seen through windows, but I've seen manners of this type before. They know your reputation and they wanted to make sure she was not going to wake up faster than they could re-drug her and throw herself out a window, but they still didn't want it to be as easy as walking out a back door so they could possibly pick her back up while her bones were knitting. So she would be she's on the first floor in what I think would probably be a closet, so it taps there.
How many cars did you see out front?
Where did you say? Where? First floor closet? So
Ping.
you said that was second floor.
Ground floor, first floor.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's
Ground floor,
my
first floor.
that's my
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that was me having an
I
error.
lived in a building that had a mezzanine, so I'm used to that difference.
Look, here we call it ground floor and then it's first floor, and I'm just really used to that. And I usually translate for the Americans, but this time I did not. So yeah.
You shouldn't have to. I'll be able to flip between the two independently eventually.
Yep.
Closet. Okay, so about there.
Well, that's the bathroom. Closet is that little tiny room.
Closet is that one.
There.
Got it.
So it's I saw a few motorcycles, one with a sidecar, a rather carefully modified sidecar. There was apparently some those boards that ambulances have when they're strapping down someone with a head injury?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. But those were packed into an outbuilding. What they have at the moment is a singular van. So it doesn't seem like all of them are going to be taking her out. I don't know how long they're staying here.
How much do we want to sabotage their way out? And did you bring C4?
I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
Fair enough.
What I was thinking, Suyin, creating an illusion around the front of the house that would deter them from thinking that they can escape immediately with Kim. And that would also sufficiently distract them.
Or you could just make an actual thing they couldn't escape through. I don't know, set a big fire or something.
That would
Could we not burn Stuttgart down?
Okay.
As much as
And,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I'm with them on
Suyin
this. As
would
much
wish
as I would
to,
like to.
I don't think we should wait for Suyin to pour gasoline everywhere if we did have something on hand.
Gasoline is easier to get than C4. There are gas tanks in that. There's a gas tank in that van and in those motorcycles. Sure. Here's my question for lady and gentlemen. When you had her, were you just going to kill everyone and then stay in the house? Where were you going to go?
We've scattered easily before, and Kim is quite technologically adept, which I imagine would help us. secure more long-distance travel, if need be.
Yes, but you would be coming out of it minimal belongings, on foot.
Can always steal a car if we need to.
Steal a van.
You're thinking something that's an obvious solution. Please tell us.
There's me. She was my protege. Now she's yours, but where do you think she got half of it from?
Oh, teacher. Okay, I get it.
I came at least in part to do this on my own if I had to, but there was a good enough chance that you would be coming back. I didn't know if it was going to be this soon. I'm glad it was. I'm glad you got in touch with me so I didn't have to try to find you. But I have made some contingencies for an escape. I did hear something about a chartered flight to London. My question is this. If we do get information about the individuals that have done this, what do you want to do about them?
I'd like to go direct and make them not have eyes anymore.
Yes, along those lines.
Something like that, because, yeah, if they came after Kim once, they're going to come after her again, and we won't stand for that. And they won't be standing for long.
Yes, Kneecap's lack of eyes. I do actually read the reports. I had a feeling. If nothing else, London is a wonderful place to hide, CCTV cameras notwithstanding.
Oof, cameras. It's fucking...
It's fine, you'll just be one of the more attractive American tourists. You, funnily enough, won't get all that much interest there, if only because, generally speaking, people that attractive are probably in the entertainment industry, and Londoners in general tend to respect the privacy of their public figures a bit more than the average. As I understand it, Sean Bean is a regular in a pub out in St. John's Wood, and he's not bothered at all.
Neat! Heck, he's come back from the dead thing more times than we have.
Better her than me. That's all I will say. Better her than me. Listen.
Fictionally speaking, I was... anyway.
Yep.
Anyway.
And his... I'm still running with it because it's funny. In any case, since you're the ones who can't die, rail tickets to Berlin, you're not going as comfortably as you might have with Kim, but as I say, I didn't have a great deal of time, and some plausible deniability might be a good idea, so you're going in with some smuggler individuals who are bringing in a shipment that is bouncing through with its origin point in Amsterdam. He's been paid. He isn't going to ask any questions, but he's still going to want and hands. It's a post-it basically, but just tell him this and.
Points to the boss.
Yeah, he's handing it to Ketty. He's
Okay.
not stupid. You're going to want to collect as many of your things as possible, or we are, but I think that's something that Suyin can do, because you can probably wear a pack sack and still stab people.
Yes. Yes, I can.
I seem to recall you carrying a great deal on your back while still very happily stabbing so many people.
Oh, that report. Yeah, that was a time.
Yes, so we are going to have to get in, get up the stairs, collecting things as we go. I hope most of that was in one place. To be fair, it was. Kim did actually tidy everything before you all left, because she does that.
Thanks to Kim. Yes.
It's gonna be a great loss in the office, but I thought that even before. What?
Well, sorry, I'm looking at the map, the sketch here. Okay. If we can't get upstairs, could we go under the closet if we have to? Is that a thought? Is that possible?
I'm not
Directly
sure we have
below
a
it is.
small enough grade of explosives to bring down the floor without making things worse for Kim.
Right. Okay.
Also,
I'm just asking. I was just asking.
yeah, it's an interesting idea. However, keep in mind closets are small. Debris landing on your head.
If they
Well,
sufficiently
yeah.
blockaded the stairs, I trust that Suyin can find an alternate route through a window.
Yeah. I just, if we could, if we're
We
dealing
don't
with.
have C4. We can't go through the floor. We
Okay.
also don't have
No.
det cord
What about?
or
Okay.
anything else fun.
Okay. Okay. And what about? I don't suppose we could get up on the roof. Again, if we can't just go direct, I'm just.
We
trying
don't have the kind of grappling lines for that kind of
Oh,
climb.
right. We don't. Shoot. Okay. Never
And
mind.
if we tried to go in through an upstairs window, we'd have to get her out through the same one. It would be easier to break whatever barricade they might have on the stairs.
Once I summon the illusion, I'm hoping that a few of them will rush outside and present an easy opportunity for you, Rafe, while the rest of us
Fair
work
enough.
our way across open ground.
And get right, and the judicious application of force will reinforce the illusion. So, right. Okay. That works.
Ideally, we're moving fast enough that they don't have much time to regain their bearings.
Let me ask, how long do you want me to stay situated before coming in? I'm assuming I'm coming in because
Yes,
you
you can come
good
after.
point. You're going to need help carrying her out, and I think of all of us, that's probably me. But
I expect once you take down the first few, they'll realize the danger of staying in the open. And then after that first few moments, there probably won't be any targets left for you, and then you can follow us in.
right, especially with the curtains and all.
Mhm.
Okay. It turns to the guy going, "What do you think?"
Well, I don't know what the distraction is going to be. I'm missing a couple of pieces of the information, and I'm sure that's by design. I'm not going to interfere with your tactics any more than I have to, as in to keep you from having to do work that you don't have to do, or blowing holes in things, like floors. But I'm assuming that if you think it works, it works. As I say, I'm not here to be your backup brain. That is Kim's job. If you want your backup brain, you get her back.
Oh, understood. But they're all smarter than me. You're smarter than me, so I figured I'd ask everybody that was smarter than me. So thank you.
We should get moving.
Yes, boss.
Mhm.
Ketty is going to make sure that they move in this way's direction so that Rafe has
Because
line of sight to the front.
that's the front door through
Because he
there.
wants to put the illusion between the front door and the van.
Yeah, the van is actually sort of parked more to the side, so around about there.
Okay, so
But
Yeah,
we're
so
not
be like-
we're not going to deal with that because the start of the illusion is going to be the start of a whole prolonged thing, and we're at half one now. So when we come back in about 5 minutes, we will do this shit. Oh boy. And we're back, about to take on a Manor with a former military desk jockey who is not telling you his name. It doesn't seem to think it's important in the grand scheme of things. Largely, there seems to be a, I am a mayfly person. Don't worry about it. One question does come. Ms. Zone and I are coming in from the back. I take it. If everyone else is coming in from the front, all right. There are two ways in. Both are relatively close to stairways. There's the quiet ways anyway. There's a door in through the kitchen and a door into. I think you were probably setting up camp in there. Actually, it's basically there and there. I mean, we could crash a window, but that sounds much more noisy than picking a lock.
Yeah. I'm game for kitchen approach.
That sounds fine. One thing, and that's another good reason to pick the kitchen. We need to take the blood samples.
Of course, they'd be storing them there.
Well, they'd have to. I mean, unless they're in the van, which I suppose is another possibility. But we can't let them keep them. All it's going to do is whet their appetites for. If this is what we can find out with blood, we need more of it. I don't think they'll give up if they have nothing, but honestly, I just don't want them to come out of this with anything.
I agree.
So we may have to check the van, but hopefully once things have quieted a bit, we'll have time. So we'll go in through the back. You'll inch towards the front, and where are we going to reconvene?
See. Much depends on
I
how
have a
good they
thought.
are and how much, whether or not we're able to overwhelm them.
No, I have a thought.
Okay, so
There is a hotel that Jensen was using that could work as a rendezvous point, as it's incredibly nondescript. And so unbelievably dull, it physically hurts me to be there, but it's effective.
Well, as I've only got the one vehicle, you and I will have to take that, as I don't know how mobile Kim's going to be. You two will be able to get there on foot if you're given directions?
yes, of course.
Looks at Suyin like, give them directions?
And yeah, I'm going to describe how to get from our Manor location to that
The Palace of
Vanta
Beige.
Beige building.
Sorry, I...
Trust me, it stands out, but doesn't at the same time because it is so beige.
I get the impression it doesn't stand out from the outside, but on the inside it drives one to madness through the beige. But if all of you are going to be crammed in together in one room, I'm pretty sure that will mitigate some of the beige.
I would hope so.
Although, here's the thing. We want to collect as many of your belongings as we can. Those would be stored in that room, would they not? Just by sheer dint of logic?
Mm-hmm.
Rafe and I will grab those then.
Alright. So effectively, that's going to leave you out of the eyeball collecting.
I trust Su Yin will take enough eyeballs for all of us.
No, that's what I mean is if she's coming with me to cover me while I carry Kim to safety. And there's only going to be what you can manage on the way out.
Well, since you've given us this lead to London, questioning one of these soldiers isn't quite much of a priority anymore.
That's fair enough, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt to have confirmation. I have largely what I've overheard.
If we gain the upper hand, then we'll take one of them alive to question before we depart, and if they manage to hold their ground, we'll just do the essentials. And those essentials are Kim, the blood, and our belongings in that order, and then we retreat and meet back up at the hotel.
All right. Good luck to you.
And you.
Let's get this show on the road.
We wait until we have some indication of the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenny will start moving down to the right spot and bring Rafe along with him.
And I'm following desk and going into stealth as I do so.
Okay. Roll stealth. He actually vanishes better than you do.
Raised eyebrows from me, but gonna just keep silent. Keep going to target location.
Yeah, so you're kind of hovered around about the kitchen door, and it really is just Suyin is worried and angry, and you do have somebody in the kitchen going, "Do you hear something?" I'm assuming Ketty has got around to the front of the building by the time they've stealthed in.
Yep. Be at the then you're at that 300 feet away, and then do his thing, which takes 10 minutes, and then summon that.
I will assume that these two gave you time before they started stealthing, so you might be able to save Suyin from the roll that was so nearly a nat 1. Look at the fucking modifier!
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
And he will summon this 150-foot long and wide wall of big thorny vines and this area to cut off the van and the road.
Okay.
Encourage them to hide in the manor instead. And then he will wait to see if anyone runs out to stare at it.
Okay, yeah. Oh dear. 'Cause that's soundless. And they've got blackout curtains. And they're not really looking outside. So Ketty does this impressive Rapunzel style wall of thorns all across one bit of the, and absolutely nothing happens.
Ketty, Rafe, wait
Yeah,
here.
although at that bit, I'm sorry. Before you do that, because this is not enough to. Yeah, the kitchen door opens, and Suyin will find a gun pointed basically at her head.
asking.
Because, yeah, no, he hasn't heard desk yet. What is she doing? Because this guy sees her.
Is he training the gun?
Right,
Does he look
right
like
between your eyes.
Does he look like he wants me to
Yes.
immediately drop what I'm doing and stop?
Yes.
I'm going to slowly do that and try to step back.
Well, while you're
better view.
while you're doing that, because Desk was flanking, as you're raising your hands, there's a movement in the shadows behind you, and all of a sudden you're covered in blood as across his throat.
Thank you. I was hoping to bring him into
Shut up.
more.
Shut up. I don't think your friend's distraction worked very well, and there's another person in that kitchen.
Right.
Be stealthy and take care of him. Be quieter and take care of him.
Going to go try and approach the guy and
Okay.
make him go snap gurgle before he notices me.
Yeah, okay, another stealth check.
Much better.
Yeah, you manage to get through the door and around a convenient kitchen island before this guy's sort of going, Zach? Hey Zach, where'd you go? And you get behind him and I'm giving you that one because between your sneak attack and the fact that these guys are, well, they're mortal. The Desk kind of grabs the corpse before it hits the ground and drags him outside.
I'm going to check hall.
Perception check.
Six. God.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed anything.
Just check the fridge. I'll listen. Yeah, you guys are looking at your big ass wall of thorns, and nobody's coming out. Nobody seems to have noticed it's there.
Rafe, stay here. I'll see if I can get any of them to come out. And you will try to sneak forward.
Stealth check. Okay, not bad. I mean, to be fair, even if anybody was looking out, there's a big wall of thorns in the way, supposedly.
And you will get within 30 feet of the front door and cast Thaumaturgy to slam the front door open.
Okay, the front door slams open, and
What? Oh no.
apparently nobody notices.
What? Is their perception that bad?
In that particular situation, yes, apparently it was. It's more of a. I mean, the best you get is, oh, for fuck's sake, will somebody shut the damn door?
He waits the 6 seconds between actions that technically would happen, and then he thaumaturgies again and causes harmless tremors on the front lobby.
Oh god, are they still blind?
It's not even the fact that it's blind. It's in the lobby, and thaumaturgy doesn't cover that big an area. And apparently those few people who might have felt anything think they're just on a fucking fault line.
God.
I'm sorry. Okay, you think about that. 'Cause meanwhile, you got Solid Snake and Co over here just going, oh shh. And yeah, Suyin checks the fridge and she does find a few medical grade vials of blood and some little vacuum sealed pots that apparently contain tissue.
All of those go into any sort of bag sack.
Well,
thing that I got on.
you still have Kim's bag.
Yeah, those go into that bag.
All right, I haven't heard anything, but that's the door we want.
Right. I'm going to head towards the indicated door and
We'll keep your stealth roll for now. Desk isn't as great in corridors as he is in other spots, but you come out on what you would remember from the map is there, and if you're peering up very quietly, you'll find 2 guards flanking this door. So there and there, and you can imagine there's probably more inside. They seem to be keeping an eye, but thankfully, given that role, they have not noticed you yet. I think that distraction may not have gone according to plan.
And let me know
Yeah.
when Ketty can try again.
that seems about right. I'm thinking while we're downing those two, if they have grenades, we can use those on any further ones.
We're a little bit close to Kim. Tell you what. How fast can you move?
Pretty damn fast.
Right. I'll down those 2. Once I have, you get into position. When they come out the door, you take them.
Yep. Let's do this.
All right. And yeah, it gives you just about enough space to move as he pops up and goes. It just pops up, and to their startled blink, it's sort of. Can I interest you in a copy of the Book of Mormon?
What did he just 44 to the 44 ACP killed the soul?
I'm assuming Kim is moving.
Yup.
Yeah,
I
'cause
am
he downed that one first, so that you'd have some clear space to stand. And now you're hearing sort of what the, and out come 2 more guys in uniform, and behind them you get the impression of somebody in doctor's white coat.
Yeah, going. Just. I am on these guys like white on rice.
Okay, give me 2 attack rolls. Your target's not that high, so. It'll just do. He's not immediately dead, but yeah, that basically you catch one. He manages to scream. The second guy you bury up. So basically, this is the point at which Ketty, who's going, okay, I've tried everything, is starting to hear the sounds of screaming drifting from inside.
Yeah, there's one more thing to try.
Yeah, although, to be fair, given that they're screaming in the building, it better be good.
You crouch down around the corner here.
Okay.
Cast Thaumaturgy on his voice. And channel his half brother as he shouts, "Come and face the son of Odin!"
Oh, for fuck's sake! No, whoever is remaining in there, although in all fairness there are not that many, are a little bit more interested in the gunshots.
The gunshot stabbing to
Back
death
and-
gurgle.
Waves for Rafe to come up, and he
Yeah,
makes his way to the front door.
currently you have a terrified-looking guy in a doctor's coat. Do you want to leave him for? Do you want to injure him and leave him for these two, or do you want to just make him not be anymore? Because Ketty's the only one who could probably talk to this guy.
Yeah, I'm basically going to hit him in the solar plexus to basically knock the wind out of him as hard as I can,
Okay.
and then just keep going.
Okay, make me an attack roll.
Yeah, I still want to hit him for what
Yeah,
what's likely
that's-
done, but
Yeah, you've basically given you've managed to dagger hilt to the solar plexus, and while he's crouched over, whap in the back of the head. And
kindly stay put so I don't have to remove more pieces from you.
and opening up the closet door, because I mean, you're hearing boot steps heading in the general direction of upstairs. We'll deal with that later, and what you two are doing about it. And yeah, what you find is straitjacketed, ball-gagged, and obviously healed and everything, but very unconscious Kim.
I'm going to contend with getting the bindings off her.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to take much, given you have a knife and you're not overly concerned about nicking her because she heals. So yeah, bindings are off, but you're not getting consciousness out of her anytime soon.
I would give for anything resembling adrenaline right now.
Well, we don't have time for that, and
No, we don't.
grabs her up in a fireman's carry. We have incoming. That's going to be a problem. You two. So yeah, Rafe is being waved down as you guys are hearing the tromping.
Runs up close enough to hear the tromping and just runs up to Ketty and just looks at Ketty and goes, "Smash!"
Yes, smash.
And runs in, smash!
That gets everybody's attention.
Like, smash!
Well, not everybody's attention, but we'll deal with that. Basically, you wind up around about there, because you had a few people from coming in from this direction. There would have been at least 3 coming in from sort of what would appear to be bedroom 1 and the grand ballroom. You're hearing a couple more running feet in that direction, but not all that many. But you see these guys, so what are you gonna do? We're gonna quick and dirty this, so I'm not really doing how many feet, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay. I'm basically on the nearest guy. It's short sword all the way. Just. So I
Attack.
will make an attack roll.
It's like they see this guy with a giant sniper rifle, sling it back, pull a sword. No.
Just yeah, you've got him screaming,
sorry.
and these guys are whoa, and yeah, these guys are going. There's a certain amount of scream gurgle from this guy, but I'm gonna keep moving forward, kind of, because you said there were 3. So the first one gets the short sword, and I keep moving past, just sort of out of the way, because I want to swing at the one
the next one behind him if I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I say, this is your Andromache epic through the corridor moment.
Exactly. So and then
Yeah, but you're still gonna need to make the other two attack rolls, but
17.
definitely, yeah, that one you just.
And then the last one will be key point spent doing just flurry of blows, just pop, pop, on the next guy on the third one. So that's 24 and 20.
Yeah, you do manage to cave his skull in at that point.
And then I'll turn around to Ketty and be like, "Now what?" Meanwhile, that one first guy is still probably gurgling on the floor a little.
Well, he's just. I mean, you got him pretty bad, but it just wasn't an instant kill.
Kitty points him towards the living room where all our stuff is.
Okay. Meanwhile, this
Salutes and starts gathering stuff, and there we go.
Yeah, this is going to be intensely amusing, as. Yeah, you're leading the way out of closet with and bedroom with Kim in fireman's carry. Two guys come tromping up the stairs. They each get off a shot. Take Suyin through the shoulder. You don't see where, if anywhere, it hit Desk, but Desk was probably hit, although he for Suyin, the thing was, okay, you have the person who heals really fast. Instead of using her as a shield, you actually tried to shield her from the you stupid man.
It's just that brief moment of that process, and I'm pirate shrieking at these two.
Okay, are you attacking?
Yep. 1 and
Yep.
2.
Yeah, you get them both. Although the one who's largely reduced to gurgling is silenced with the. Even in a fireman's carry, you can lift a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
We'll rendezvous with them at the hotel. We need to get out of here.
Yep, time to go.
And given your screaming, I'm sure they'll think to check up here. You can. Suyin and Desk with Kim manage to get their way out while these two were finishing off bits and pieces, and so okay, yeah. I'm just gonna say these guys are quiet, apart from the shrieking, and Ketty and Rafe know Suyin well enough to know that if the screaming is stopped, she can't be dead, so she's followed the plan and is gone. But it probably does mean that they should check some things up there. So yeah, after Rafe collects bits, because he can carry that no problem. Not like you guys ever carry much. And
So after gathering everything up, he just kind of stands there like the world's biggest golden retriever, looks at Kitty and goes, "Boss."
well, there's a big camping, there's a big army sack,
Oh well, then it's flung over.
Yep. Kitty grabs another backpack as need be. And
What?
then heads.
Well,
Stairs.
he's probably got his own. Haversack that he never leaves home without, but he was probably carrying that the whole time. Yeah, your nearest stairway is that one, so you come up kind of here. All things considered, you're not seeing very much, and it's quiet up here now.
Yep.
I mean, you know this general direction because kind of up that way was the stairs to the roof.
He'll follow the scent of blood in a that away direction.
Yeah, I mean, checking through the rooms, you're not finding a whole terrible lot in most of them. There are in this larger room here, when you look in, a couple of bits of quick and dirty lab equipment, which seem to be in the process of tabulating results, but they don't seem to actually be finished processing yet.
If there is a laptop, Kitty will grab that.
Yep, there is a laptop. You unplug that, and things start bleeping error messages. But it does mean Rafe won't know this because he's a bit dumb, but Ketty will. That probably means there's a blood or tissue sample in there somewhere.
Okay, then he will look for the container that would hold blood or tissue.
Make me an intelligence check. Yeah, you can find they basically I switch this off and I press this button and it'll spit out what it was trying to analyze, and you do have and in this case it is a chunk of tissue. They do seem to have taken some kind of skin biopsy.
He'll stuff all that in his bag.
Did he find the man laid out?
No, because different room. You missed the lab room. But yeah, if you continue following, you open that door, and that's when the scent of blood literally hits you. So you come along to there, and you find.
Oh, Kitty's Suyin's been here.
Yeah, there's six dead men up there, and when you look in that room, there's a just coming to consciousness doctor type individual. Closet doors.
Kitty, Phantasmal Forces, chains.
He's mostly getting and he clearly wants to scream, but he's too concussed.
Kitty, do the illusion chains and stuff a handkerchief in his mouth.
Don't you want him to answer questions?
Yeah, I was about to say, look, boss, isn't he supposed to speak?
I was thinking we put him in the van and take him with us.
I thought we were leaving on foot.
And also why it's completely quiet. You checked all the upstairs rooms. There's no one left here.
We're good. Area is clear. Perimeter is clear. Well, building is clear, and besides, they probably know where the van is.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
I don't remember how much GPS was a thing in 2005. Everything kind of came up quick, so I'm not sure.
Well, to be fair, Rafe doesn't know if they I mean that machine looked complicated, so
Fair enough.
and given he's used to boss, maybe they have techie ways of doing what he does. You don't know.
Kitty will then ungag him
Mm,
and still keep him bound.
Yeah.
Boss, here, hold on. And I'll set my bag down and walk over to the dock and just sort of stand there just in case.
Okay.
Smacks his face a couple times, get him conscious.
Yeah, that's really gonna help with somebody who has a concussion, but he's probably kind of seeing you. That's about what you're gonna get. I mean, it's pretty clear Suyin hit him hard, but he's conscious enough to speak. He's just too groggy to actually scream. It's one of those, I'm too tired for this shit. I am resigned to my fate. Whatever.
God, I bricked him.
Who is giving you the orders?
My boss, mostly.
A name, please.
He gives the name of, actually, to be fair, I don't know how much biotech firm names you actually know, but you probably know enough to know that this is one. It's not one that's featured in the news a whole lot, but the really big ones never do.
Has any of your initial findings been sent to him yet?
Things are still undergoing analysis.
So you have no conclusions for him?
With one blood sample and a tissue sample? And I have some preliminary notes, but I wasn't happy with sending those to my superiors without some kind of further backup.
What conclusions have you made?
It's not even so much conclusions, it's things I've noticed that if you don't have much of a science background, none of it's going to make a whole lot of sense, but it's largely to do with protein chains, immune responses, and certain aspects of your genes that have been either reinforced, switched off, or, well, both really, but it's complicated. And
More
it's
complicated than you might think.
it's inconclusive at the moment anyway. Not enough backing on any of my findings to send yet. I need better facilities. Probably biopsies from more than skin, certainly.
Oh, that is all quite fortunate for your sake that you didn't have the opportunity to find more.
Make me an intelligence check, Ketty. Rafe can do it too. You never know. But Ketty's a little bit vague on this, but the thing is that if this guy was talking about the biopsies he'd need to do, what he doesn't have anything conclusive. What he has is a testing plan, which would probably be just about enough, particularly if he was forced to share his preliminary findings, to keep them more interested than they need to be. So it's not the lucky thing that it sounds like. He realizes as he says this, no wait. You want to take bits of what organs now?
Where are these notes?
On my computer.
Ah, perfect.
And of course, unspoken also in my head.
That is... Well,
Well, that's the thing. Rafe is like, so yeah, okay. He doesn't know anything. We're good. We're fine.
Mhm.
maybe given that intelligence roll, maybe if he tells them that anything they try will result in us doing this, it'll scare them away and they won't do it anymore, and we won't have to worry. So we leave him alive and he warms them away. Whereas Ketty is, nah, man's gonna have to go squish.
Well, he's
Or
playing in the odds.
I mean, boss. It doesn't sound like he knows anything, but I mean, he could probably tell him to leave off, but also, I mean, it worked. I mean, I'm fine either way.
He
at which
looks
point,
back.
well, when when Ketty, when Rafe says, he doesn't know anything, so he can probably warn him off. There's a look of, you have got to be kidding, right? That crosses his face. He's too concussed to hide. That is the look of a scientist who really needs to know now.
Ketty drags him over to the other bodies. Attila the Hun would leave one alive to tell his tale to his enemies.
Oh no. Jordan's going.
Sorry, he's got nothing else but
Getting to panic a little.
That's right.
Yes.
In a moment, do it. Yep.
So you are going to go to your boss and tell him what happened here. And after that, I strongly suggest you find a different line of work.
He's giving you this look of, I may be concussed and I'm probably about to die, but are you fucking stupid? This man is a scientist who has been provided with the mystery of eons. And if he's, I mean, if after he gives you that look, it's like, I could lie, but I think you're better at reading those than that.
Well, if he's not looking sufficiently cowed.
That was a nat 1 on common fucking sense. He's a scientist.
Fair enough. Kitty drops him on the floor.
Thump.
Sighs. Gives Rafe a look. Some people.
Yep, I got it. And Brett just walks
No.
over.
Nope.
What?
I'll do it.
Walks
Takes
over. Come on!
And then he realizes he got 3. It's boss's turn.
Yeah, Ketty takes the revolver, puts one in the back of the head.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll for that one.
Yo.
Let's be off.
Thank you. Oh, we probably want to just give like their vehicles a once over, just in the off chance they left anything in there, anything identifying, tying them.
Wise thought.
Okay.
I have those once in a while.
Investigation check from the both of you on the van in particular. The bikes net you nothing.
I got a 17. Holy shit.
Race on fire.
Well, I mean, I've thrown vehicles before. Well, I've literally thrown a couple of them. I've tossed a vehicle before, which I've tossed them too. Okay, can I pick a different phrase?
Searched.
Thank you.
Which is why it's Rafe who finds in the usual smuggler compartment another couple of vials that they missed, tucked in a sort of a cooler, very small cooler down in a footwell kind of thing. So you just Rafe could pry. Ah, there we go. I knew they were gonna hide something there.
Oh, well done, Rafe.
Well, yeah. I mean, Suyin and I did a job some decades ago, and yeah, her and her freaking Heidi holes. I kind of figured they were probably going to pull something similar. Sure enough, hey.
Yeah, but it probably would not. Given the both of you got enough to know, it'd probably be a bad idea to bring the vehicle. It's so nondescript that it's clearly not something you want driving around the streets of Stuttgart. It wouldn't quite fit in.
It's
Nondescript to script.
Yes. Okay. Meanwhile, obviously, Desk and Suyin and the unconscious Kim, and at this time of night, it's a woman behind the desk now, probably the man's wife, and she glances up at Suyin covered in blood, unconscious Kim, dude dressed in Kevlar. Glances back at Suyin, seems to match Suyin's face to a description her husband gave her, and goes back to her magazine.
God, these two have been an absolute delight. They haven't said anything.
No, that's not true. The man did speak to you.
Oh yeah, true. He spoke to me long enough to get me a roll.
Yep. But yeah.
I still had the key to him.
Yes, which is why you're going up there, and when you do, and the Desk puts Kim down on the bed. Make me a perception check, Suyin. You haven't really had the time in the car.
He got clipped in a way that's pretty awful, I'm willing to bet.
Well, you don't know. You really don't know.
Yep, I have no idea.
You're too worried about, I don't know what drugs do. I've never been this out of it on chemicals before. You keep an eye on her. I'll get out of this. And because that perception check sucked so fucking badly, you're mostly just sitting there, focused on Kim and trying not to focus on the beige, when Rafe and Ketty walk in. There's this middle-aged German woman reading a magazine, looks up at the two of you, covered in other people's blood. Can I help you?
Just looks boss.
What Suyin didn't tell you was the room number. And you're probably gonna have to give a description because you don't know what name Suyin used to check in.
We're meeting a friend, Asian woman.
The unconscious one or the one in blood?
Both of them.
Yes.
It gives a room on the 4th floor. Then goes
Thank
back to her
you.
magazine.
Full on Commander Shepard. I have to go.
I should go. Is the actual? I should go. That's the catchphrase. So yeah, and while Suyin is focusing on the Kim and not focusing on the beige, there's a knock on the door. Probably a knock that you and Rafe worked out during that very same smuggling mission, since it was on Rafe's mind.
Yeah, that one processes. I get door.
I think so.
Okay, we all.
Wow.
Where's desk?
I was gonna ask
Still
you
in the
that.
bathroom. As far as you know.
Knock, knock, knock.
Uh-oh. Here. Oh, no. Rafe just puts down the bag, walks over to the door, tries it,
It's not locked.
opens
And
the door.
I mean, he's kind of slumped on the floor. He has got the Kevlar off, and he is in a fairly extensive pool of his own blood.
Oh, dear. Boss?
And none of y'all can heal worth shit. The only one who can is unconscious, and if this had been noticed earlier, then something might have been done, but at this point, he's gone into shock, he's not likely to regain consciousness, and he's only barely still breathing. If there was any question of whether or not he was actually one of you, that's done.
Teddy was gonna take the first aid kit and give it a shot.
Okay, medicine check.
Hmm.
No. You can't make it any worse. But he's barely breathing as it is.
Can we maybe get help Kim come too? Well, I don't know what she could do, but she's smarter than us probably with us, so unless I don't know. So Yen, do you want it? Wait, you're more into now.
Do I look like a medic?
You work with
And Ketty is the one who oversees Desk's last breath as these two are arguing.
Kitty is gives his hand a squeeze.
Not sure if he feels it. There is no response from this man.
It's the thought that counts.
It is.
and at which point Rafe finally look. Oh dear. Oh dear. And he was our only other contact. Oh dear.
To be fair, Ketty and Suyin will both remind him that given how long you guys have lived, you've had so many contacts through the years.
We have enough to manage. It's not that. It's he was her teacher.
Well, that too. I don't know.
That's actually the worst bit. Someone's gonna have
How-
to tell her, and I'm not good at that.
Sorry, that's a boss. That's a boss. That's a boss. That's a boss thing. Bye. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Give me the bed sheet, and then see if we have anything that will help Kim back on her feet.
Make me another medicine check while these two are covering the body. Of course, then there's the other problem. You have a dead man in your in your hotel room.
Yeah, it was about. But also, boss. I hate to say it, but what do we do with him? I mean, moving him is not a problem, but I don't suppose we could call them for a cleanup. Is that a thing that can be done?
I'm not sure.
You've seen it in enough movies.
The people we normally call for a cleanup are not in a position where we know who is and is not reliable.
Turning themselves inside out, as I understood from what we talked about. God damn it!
Okay, then we'll one thing at a time. Kim first.
Yeah.
Desk later.
in all fairness, it's one of those situations where, okay, if I had, like, needles and the right chemicals, I could probably do something. But since I can't physically force coffee down her, this isn't a patch up. This isn't something that smelling salts are going to necessarily help. Not at this stage anyway. They might in about 20 minutes. But, because she's still metabolizing it faster than the average. But let's face it, they OD'd her several times over. One thing he can tell with that medicine check is that they really did dose her very, very heavily more than once. And, I mean, she should be dead of overdose multiple times over by now. You've got a fairly good idea that it's some kind of opioid, but beyond that, haven't got a clue.
Okay, if there's nothing to give her, then just wait it out.
On the other hand, it does give you at least 20 minutes to maybe take away the body and not have the bathroom that she might want to use to clean up swimming in his blood.
Kenny tells Suyin to go down to a convenience store and buy a bottle of bleach.
Riff looks at the make it 2.
I'm actually gonna do a full small grocery check, more than just the bleach, but actual cleaning supplies and a couple of other bits and pieces to make it look like I'm not just obviously looking to get rid of a body or anything of that nature.
Which probably means, given that you're going to have somebody who's dealing with opiate hangover, you're probably also going to get food.
Yep, food. Just whatever coffee drink I can find.
It's a convenience store. There's instant. There's energy drinks. There's You could basically lots of wakefulness stuff, snack food, and what cleaning supplies you can get from the German equivalent of a 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty also looks out the window to see potential options for body disposal, like at the edge of the woods or in the middle of suburbia.
You're not suburbia. You're more in the middle of the urban sprawl. Make me a perception check.
Dark out.
It's dark out, and you're kind of like, I'm going to have a talk with Shiyin about noticing things, not really appreciating the irony of the fact that you're thinking this and it's preventing you from noticing things, because shouldn't she have known that he got shot? So he's kind of on that, and also on how am I going to tell her this exactly? Suyin, when you come back, because you have the mind that's sort of going body disposal. Make me a perception check.
It's how do I am trying to consider how would I drop him off somewhere that would at least get him picked up and treated respectfully, because just pull some crazy shit on our behalf.
Yeah. Well, in which case you don't need to bother, because you have a car, you have front desk staff who don't give a shit. You could just drop him off on the edge of the Black Forest and have him be the last victim of whatever was out there. It's still close enough to the last killings that he could blend in with.
It's funny. That was actually I was gonna say pretty much exactly that, but I didn't know if Rafe would make
No.
that leap. I didn't think
No.
so, but that's exactly what, as a player, I was thinking along those lines. Like,
Yeah, but
why don't we take her to the forest?
it's the kind of thing Suyin would think of, but she'd need Rafe to carry the body.
Yeah, to help with. Gotcha.
And
So
at least if you empty that big, and this is very much a Suyin thing, if they empty the big duffel bag that had everybody's stuff in and put him in it, probably wrapped up in a couple of the hotel sheets, just to make sure that no leakage happens, you could sort of move him over there, and there might be a bit of a question about where the, why there isn't more blood, but if he was, there's ground for it to soak into.
yeah, and I'm going to return, sort of start directing Rafe to help me do this exact thing, and if I can, in the convenience store or anywhere nearby, pick up anything that could act as a burner phone, like a really cheapo piece of crap from somewhere, just to let me dial 911 and act like a hysterical person.
The Hands of Fate is kind. It's not so much a. This is the thing. It's that sort of thing is not generally done in Europe. So you wouldn't find one in the convenience store, but when you're dumping out the duffel bag, Kim's 2 or 3 burner phones fall out.
I'm going to grab one of those for using in that manner once we arrange him.
Okay. And yeah, I'm just giving you this when you sort of get him into the bag and back down the stairs, and this time the woman barely even looks up from her magazine, just... But then... Are your guests staying, ma'am?
Yeah.
Please try to keep the room clean.
Yes.
That's it.
Right. Once we find an appropriate location, take care of that arrangement. Burner phone 911, or whatever the equivalent for Germany is.
I want to say it's 999, but
That's here.
I know that's UK as well. I can't remember
It might
if
be
Germany is different.
119. I don't honestly know.
That's the thing. I used to know. I have a friend who actually lives in Germany, and for the life of me, I can't remember it.
112, actually. It's the number for fire brigade, ambulance, and general emergency, and that's most of the EU. Yet another place that we've always differed from. So yeah, 112.
112.
Give me a performance check.
$17.
Yeah, they don't actually think it's a prank from the sounds of things. So,
It's like
while
a
it
really
would be...
freaked out citizen. And I'm going to give them the location and all of that. And proceed to Rafe and fucking just away.
And while this has been going on, because this whole rigmarole is going to take a while, even in a car, and Ketty is still left in the hotel room, probably, he probably did some of the scrubbing, because the last thing you want is for it to dry on the bath mat. And then just sitting at around about the point that Kim starts making vaguely starting to be conscious noises.
Kenny hurries back out to make sure she sees him when she's looking up.
Thank you.
You're safe now, Kim.
I gathered. No straitjacket. What happened? I mean, beyond I got jumped I did some things involving fire and drove at least one of them into the house with my explosive runes. But
More than one at the end of things.
oh no, one of them I threw fire at. Two of them actually, but one was sort of on the periphery. I don't know if he. Anyway, them
We
and they.
dealt with Thomas Jensen.
Oh good. Where are Rafe and Suyin?
They're out for the moment, but the three of us are all fit, and we're planning on leaving Stuttgart soon with you. Gives her something to drink.
Yeah, it's sipping at that and going. I don't think that was our people.
Not entirely. We were able to learn that one or more benefactors have decided that they do not wish to be patient, and whether those soldiers are part of the organization or are separate mercenaries, well,
Uh,
they seem to decide.
biotech company's private army.
Yes, we have a name, and we'll be on our way to London soon.
Ah, if their right eye offends Suyin, it will get plucked out, yes. And then the other one just for good measure. And then any other bits she doesn't feel they need.
Quite so, but with luck, the organization, once we deal with these men, the organization will be able to clean house of anyone else that is chosen poorly.
Oh, we live in eternal hope. I'm not.
I would say we could return to normalcy, but I know that means something different for you.
Well, I don't know what normal is yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually.
You are quite the fast learner.
Learning and internalizing are slightly different things, but yes. I hope no one minds if I take a night off before I try contacting Martin. What?
Martin came out to Stuttgart to rescue you.
And it's pretty clear that you don't have to say it. Ah, that's where Rafe and Suyin are?
He was a good man.
I won't say he taught me everything I know, 'cause he didn't. But he taught me everything he knew. And it's rare it goes that way.
He seemed quite ready to preach the manor by himself, if need be.
I think I need a bath, if that's okay. The bathroom's clean enough.
Yes. Take your time if you're sure you can walk.
She's a bit wobbly, but she grabs a couple of the energy drinks and some of the chocolate and just click.
Keddy takes his loot, sits down, and does his thing.
And so when you guys get back in, because obviously Suyin's got the key, you've got make me a performance check, just for giggles. As you guys are coming down the corridor, you hear just faintly. It's beautiful lute playing. It's been long enough that you may not have remembered how good the man is. And open up the door, and the sound gets louder, and there's Ketty sitting on one of the room's beds and playing away. Kim is conspicuously absent, but there's occasional splush that suggests she's doing her soak in tub and coping, or getting to coping point.
Rafe just very quiet, tries to be very quiet, coming in and just finds a spot of floor to sit down on and stay out of the way and just listen.
Kitty glances up, mostly just to make sure Suyin doesn't rush to the bathroom door or anything.
Nope, I'm going to find my own other section of the room to quietly settle into and at least mumble out, I guess, pirates equivalent of funerary rites. In Christ, I don't even know what dialect it would have been that far back.
We'll call it Cantonese.
Mm-hmm.
A while passes in silence. Is Suyin going to try to fill anyone in on how the plan worked? Because, let's face it, you probably want the we got rid of the body conversation before Kim is back in the room.
So the arrangement worked out, and I got a hold of emergency services and gave them enough of a show that I think that they'll have picked him up by now.
Good. That's good.
And they'll be right by him.
I much like to hope so.
At the very least, better than we'd have been able to at the time.
Kim's doing as well as could be. When she woke.
Well, as long as there's a buddy of mine that I lost some time back. I don't even remember which war it was at this point, but he did say that they're not gone if we remember them. So how was it going in? How was it going in with him? Because not for nothing, he sounded like a badass.
That man was there. I would have burned down whole villages just to have that man on my crew.
Come on,
Damn.
Suyin would has to tell them about the, hello, have you been introduced to the Book of Mormon?
I think, especially because on the approach up the stairs, we'd sort of spotted two guys. He told me to jump them the minute he shot it.
No, jump.
The nearest for the next ones who were to come in after he shot the first two. As I'm getting into position to do this, he pops up. They see him. He asks, "Do you have time for me to tell you about the Book of Mormon?" And proceeded to put a bullet in each of their skulls.
At which point, Rafe has clamped his hands over his mouth because throwing his head back and laughing as loud as he's capable of would wake up everybody in probably the nearest 5 rooms. So he's got his hands over his mouth, but he's obviously laughing his bloody ass off.
To say nothing of the initial hiccup where I'm getting the door, it popped open, and I'm staring down the barrel of a projectile thrower of choice. I try to get up, hands up, take a step back, and then suddenly he's behind the man, and the man with the gun is on the floor gurgling.
Quite impressive indeed.
As I said, I would have burned down at least one village, probably 16, just to get that man on my crew.
To be fair, that's kind of a
Burned the whole of
Tuesday
China
thing.
to the ground. Yeah.
Yes, well, while this had been going on, you just get from the bathroom door. He was Marine Corps.
Hoorah. That does not surprise me.
Certainly not.
He recommended me for the assignment with you. I would have thought, I told him at the time that I thought he would probably have been better suited to it because he understands the field better, and he said no, I needed the learning experience, and while he was good at the field work, I was better with the people and the planning and the making sure that all the trains run on time. And he knew me very well. There's a side of me he doesn't know, didn't know, couldn't know because I didn't really understand it myself until now. I think that at least one of you will very much empathize with this statement. We're going to go to London, and I'm going to burn those motherfuckers to the ground.
At which point, that gets a full-fledged hoorah from Rafe. And for the record, okay, I know, like, if you couldn't do what you do, like us, like we do, they wouldn't have grabbed you in the first place. But if for some reason they would have, we got you because, well, you're you, not because you're like us. I mean, you're one of us.
I had no doubt of that. I understand.
Okay, that's me
I'm-
words, right? Not so much.
I'm grateful either way. I wish. Well, all we can do is make absolutely sure that any other of the money men who might think to try something like this understand how bad an idea it is.
Quite so.
And you hold out a hand and woof.
Yeah.
Some of
They're
us
going
don't
to
need
learn.
black powder.
They're going to learn a very, very harsh lesson.
Don't fuck with boss.
Once we get to London, there's a spot on the outskirts where we can do some prep, do some planning. I'm going to want each and every one of you to teach me what you can in the time we have.
Of course.
You got it.
Because what I can do is all well and good, but versatility is a good thing. And I'm going to want to get us, well, I should at least have something a little bit more protective than I do. Leather, possibly. Just because it heals doesn't mean that I should be slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Did Martin say anything about... And you still need to check the rail tickets for exactly when you're leaving for Berlin. Did Martin say anything about us getting there? Because obviously I was of no help in arranging anything.
Yeah, he made arrangements for getting across the continent.
Over the channel, mostly. Really.
Yeah.
But
There's arrangements involving Berlin to, like, from here to Berlin, from Berlin to Ams. But
No,
In
London,
Amsterdam.
London. It was that the smuggler originated from Amsterdam. So basically, you're sitting with a whole bunch of hash.
From here to Berlin, and then from Berlin to London by way of someone who apparently is either based out of or originated from Amsterdam.
Oh, Ivan,
Yvonne,
Ivan.
this sounds like it's going to be interesting.
Is a good pilot. Um, skims a tiny bit off the top of his own merchandise, but for his own personal use, so no one ever notices. And takes his product very seriously.
Smart man.
I like him. He will try to get you into bed, though. She's looking at Ketty, by the way.
Well, I'll just have to see then.
I'd advise against it. I've heard stories, and talk's a good game. Not very much in the way of stamina.
That's quite good to know in advance. I wasn't exactly giving him good chances, but I can respect a sporting chance.
But it's kind of still technically my job to make sure that you go into things as informed as possible.
Of course.
He'd find Rafe intimidating, and women scare him.
Does he have a brother? I don't. No. The name just. I don't think I know an Ivan, but this many. It's been this long. I sometimes some of the names get a little hazy.
Well,
There
to be
are a number of Ivans in the world.
and to be fair, you could be thinking about his twice great grandfather.
Point. That's probably my case.
So I
Because
don't necessarily know if asking is a good idea, and do not pronounce it Ivan in front of him.
Oh,
it's always Yvonne.
Always Ivan.
I can confirm this because for the same reasons that I can confirm the one gun for every 6 Russians during certain wars was a thing.
Anyway,
Their logistics were terrible.
okay.
Right. Okay. Anyway.
That's derailed things nicely. I never want to have that many tranquilizers in my system ever again.
You won't.
Yeah.
I guess for the moment, however, it's going to be convenience store food, probably more sleep. Why? I have no idea. Actually, no, yes, I do, but never mind. And come morning, vengeance. Or at least we begin.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're at that time, at a very convenient moment, I'm sorry you just didn't fucking notice! Well, have left him alive if you'd fucking noticed.
I rolled a 3.
You rolled just as bad before that.
I rolled a 2 with a 1 modifier.
No, I
The roll
mean
was
the first time you when you were walking out, you didn't notice he'd been anyway. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I did.
Perception was not our friend tonight.
Perception was not your friend tonight. Deadlands or Dunwall, guys?
Deadlands.
I kind of I'm largely indifferent, but I'm personally still leaning a bit Dunwall-ish.
You're the tiebreaker, Ethan.
Well, I thought we were going Deadlands, so
Well-
that's my take. But I'm I'm probably gonna need next Saturday because I got some stuff I got to take care of here.
Okay.
That I got to deal with. And it'll give you a bit more time to prepare anyway. So.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, no. Yeah, you're okay either way, and Noms has a very definite preference, so we'll be doing Deadlands. So I'll see you next week on Sunday for D&D anyway, but in 2 weeks' time we will go back to the Wild West. Later, guys.